Hello all, in this video we will see how to enable multiple UARTs on Raspberry Pi 4 and Raspberry Pi 5. Here we have Raspberry Pi 4 4GB, but this method applies as well as to Raspberry Pi 5. The default GPU of 14TX and GPU of 15RX are for UART 0, and we have to enable this, and the other UART pins, other UARTs are UART 1 to UART 4. Total 5 UARTs possible in Raspberry Pi 4 and 5, UART 0 to UART 4. Let us use a PuTTY SSH terminal for headless operation. We will be using the host name Raspberry Pi to log in. Log in using default Pi and default password, as we have used this default name while creating the SD card image. Now sudo Raspi-Config and go to interface options to enable VNC. The third option is VNC. Enable that. Click on yes to enable the VNC. So VNC server will start on the Raspberry Pi. Now in the same configuration, go to the interface options and then the serial port. Here you have to disable the login shell over serial, and the next screen you have to enable the serial port hardware. So disable login shell and enable serial port, and then click on OK. Now here you need a reboot for the changes to be effective. So click on OK. Now the reboot is done. For a client on PC, you need Tiger VNC Viewer to be installed on your PC. Open the Tiger VNC Viewer and then log in using the default username, Pi and password. Now you get the screen, Raspberry Pi screen on your PC. Now use the sudo nano to edit cmd line.txt. This edit has been already done using the Raspi-Config, so nothing is needed. Just verify that this console equal to serial 0 or TTY AM0 is not present. This has been already done in Raspi-Config. Now go to config.txt and go to the last line. You can see enable underscore UART equal to 1. This has been already added by using the Raspi-Config method, and this will force UART 0 to use PL011 and ensure that UART 0 is using PL011, which is a prime cell UART designed by ARM, and it has got advanced specifications like RxTX buffers. Add this line, DT overlay is equal to disable -BT. So the Bluetooth has to be disabled to free up PL011 UART 0 for serial communication. To enable second UART, add DT overlay is equal to UART 1, and the third by DT overlay is equal to UART 2. So these are the UARTs available. The UART 0 is GPU 14 and GPU 15 that we have enabled using Raspi-Config, and the other UARTs, UART 1 and UART 2, this GPU pins are listed here. That is GPU 0 and GPU 1, and for UART 2, the GPU pins are listed here. So you are enabling these two UARTs by DT overlay equal to UART 1 and UART 2 in the config.txt file, and finally save this, and then a reboot is required. Now use this command, ls command, to list the serial devices. You have to see both the TTY AM0 and TTY S0. That is serial 0 and serial 1. TTY AM0 is UART 0 and TTY S0 is UART 1. So UART 0 is using PL011 UART. You can use the pin control get command to get the position of the pins, that is the GPU pins. Previously it was GPU get, now it is PIN CTRL get, and use the GPU pin numbers to get the position of the pins, that is RX1 TX1, RX2 TX2. Use the pin number pin control in the pin control command to get the status of the pins. So we have enabled two UARTs and the other UARTs are not yet enabled. So you are getting it is input. It is not RX or TX. It is showing only the input, GPU pin as input. Now go to the you can use this command grep UART command to list out the commands you have added in under the config.txt. Now let us enable the all other UARTs, that is UART 3, 4 and 5. Go to config.txt and scroll down to the bottom, add dt overlay equal to UART 3, dt overlay equal to UART 4 and finally dt overlay equal to UART 5. All UARTs are enabled. Save this and then a reboot is required for changes to be effective. After reboot, login again. Now you can use the pin control get method to check out the pin positions. That is UART 0 pins GPU 14, 15 we have tested. Now the newly added UART 3, 4, 5, all other GPU pins. Use the pin control get and then feed in the pin number to know the status of the pin, whether it is enabled for RxTX. You can also use grep TTY to list out the TTY serial ports. Now let us loop UART 0 to UART 1 and UART 2 to UART 3 for a testing. So GPU 14 TX of UART 0 is looped to GPU of 1 of that is RX of UART 1 and GPU 0 is connected to GPU 15. So RX to TX, TX to RX. UART 0 and UART 1 are looped. Same way for, let us do it for UART 2 and 3. That is GPU 4 is connected to GPU 9 and GPU 8 is connected to GPU 5. UART 2 and UART 3 looped. TX to RX, RX to TX. Now we have to install Minicom serial. Use this command ls forward slash dev forward slash tty ama asterisk and then tty yes asterisk. It will list out all the UART ports that starts with ama as well as yes. Now let us install Minicom serial software using sudo apt install Minicom. This is a serial software for Raspberry Pi. And before using Minicom, you should know the exact name of the UART ports. That is a port name that is enabled. Now let us start UART 0 port using baud rate 9600. For this we have to use the name serial 1 forward slash dev forward slash serial 1. This represents UART 0. Use Control A and then Z and then press button letter E. This will enable local echo. That is what you type, you'll see. Now open another serial window and then use another session of Minicom with baud rate 9600 and TTY AMA2. This represents UART 1. So this port name is very important. Use Control A Z and then press E for a local echo on. Now you type in UART 0 window, you get the same thing under the UART 1 and you type in UART 1 window, you will get the letters in UART 0. So UART 0 and 1 both side communication is tested. For to quit Minicom, use Control A Z and then Q. Now open another session for UART 2 and UART 3 testing, as we have looped UART 2 and 3. For UART 2 use TTY AMA 3 and UART 3 use TTY AMA 4. Open two sessions of Minicom and then enable local echo by pressing E. Now two windows are there for UART 2 and UART 3. Type in UART 2 window, you will get the letters in UART 3, vice versa. So this is the testing. Apart from this 5 UARTs, you can also use the USB ports of the Raspberry Pi. For this, you can use a USB to TTL device like this. This is built on CP2102. You need this USB to TTL device, plug on to any one port, and then open the serial monitor and use this command to know the name of that port, that is ls/dev/tty USB asterisk. Now the name of the port is TTY USB 0. The first USB to TTL we have plugged on is given the name TTY USB 0. So use this name to open a minicom port with baud rate selected, and then you can communicate with the USB device also. Thank you for watching.